Hello and welcome to Computology Academy. And today we are going to discuss about antibiotic resistance. So this is going to be the next major reason behind any kind of pandemic that may happen throughout the world, because the antibiotic resistance is gradually increasing in the populations everywhere, and because of this what will happen, there will be more people who will be losing the life because of any kind of microbial infection. So what is antibiotic resistance? Many a time we hear here and there people talking that दवा ले रहे हैं काम नहीं कर रही है, we are following all the rules, all the drugs prescribed by the doctors are being taken by us and still we are not getting better. So these things are happening because of this antibiotic resistance, and in other words it is also called as AMR, that is antimicrobial resistance. So basically what happens here, the germs or the microbes, that may be bacteria, that may be fungi or etc, various things may be there, various microbes, and these microbes develop the ability to defeat the drugs, defeat the medicines that are designed to kill them. They get mutated, they get adapted to such kind of drugs, and various line of defense they are developed by themselves, and because of that they are capable of defeating such kind of drugs, and because of this what will happen, they will not get killed, मारे नहीं जाएंगे, and because of this they will continue to multiply themselves, they will continue to grow in numbers in the human body or animal body wherever they are, and at some point of time their number will increase to such a great extent that they will become lethal to the human or animals, and this is called as the antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance, right? And here let us talk about the nature of this antibiotic resistance or antimicrobial resistance. So here what happens, many of the people think that we are young enough or we are strong enough or we are old enough that we don't need to bother about the infection or we don't need to bother about the antimicrobial resistance, but this is not the case. Here what happens, it has the potential to affect the people at any stage of life. It doesn't matter whether you are young, you are old, you are strong enough, doesn't matter. If you are abusing the drugs, if you are using the self medication, or anyhow your body is loaded with the antibiotics, then gradually the microbes, the mm, fungi etc whatever are there in your body which will infect you will develop the resistance for that drug or antibiotics, and it can develop in the veterinary as well as agricultural sector also. Like many a times the farmers are of the view that they need to use more amount of pesticides, biocides etc to eradicate the infection in their agricultural products and agricultural produce and to need a good harvest. And here this is because of the abuse of the antibiotics, the biocides by them, because of which the microbes have developed the resistance against such kind of biocides. And same is the case with the veterinary products also. It may be poultry, it may be fishery, it may be animal products like goat etc, whatever the food products, veterinary food products are being used worldwide. So this is again a case. And here what happens, the resistance, it is not the case that the resistance should develop against all the antibiotics that are available. Even if somebody is resistant to single one antibiotic, then also it may be lethal. In any case, if a person is get infected to a microbe of the same type for which that drug was, then it may be lethal for him. So it is not the matter that he is antibiotic resistant to all kinds of antibiotics or not, right? Next is the situation here that a study was published by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. This is a United States, US based institute which is doing the studies, surveys, etc., related to the health sector. And here, according to their study, it was found that around 12.7 lakh people lost their life due to antibiotic resistance in the year 2018 directly. And what does this word directly means? Here it says that these people were resistant to drugs, and because of that these drugs were not so much therapeutically effective on their body, and because of that what happened, the microbes goes on multiplying in their body, and at certain point of time they became lethal and they lost their life. And number of such kind of people, such kind of persons was 12.7 lakh, more than a million, a huge number. And it is also estimated that the figure of the number of such kind of people will increase to 49.5 lakh. Like here, four times, around four times increment will be seen just in a year. And this is going on increasing quite fast, and that is a matter of concern which should be taken care of. That is the need of the hour. And next study was conducted by Lancet. It is also one of the famous organization. It also publishes various journals, etc., on various research. And they had conducted the research in comparison with various other diseases. First of all, they compared antimicrobial resistance with malaria infection and AIDS, HIV/AIDS infection, and the related number of deaths. And it was found that more number of people lose their life due to antimicrobial or antibiotic resistance than those who lose their life due to malaria or AIDS infection. Next finding was that it was compared with the recent pandemic, the COVID virus, coronavirus, and the number of death that was caused by coronavirus, as well as the number of death that is being caused by tuberculosis, TB infection, जो आम बोलचाल की भाषा में हम लोग इंडिया में कहते हैं. So here it was found that after COVID and tuberculosis, antibiotic resistance related deaths were third. The number of deaths that was caused due to AMR was third. So it is again a matter of concern that such kind of thing may get exaggerated, may get increased in future, and that will be a matter of concern. And here what was the situation, that this study was conducted in 204 countries worldwide. It is not a simple size study or such kind of thing, but it was a widespread study. And here it was found out that the AMR is increasing everywhere throughout the world. Antimicrobial resistance is increasing everywhere throughout the world. And let us have a look at what is the situation in India. So here, India has one of the highest rate of resistance to the antimicrobial agents or drugs. And these resistance have developed both in the human beings as well as food animals. Food animals are those animals which are being used as food by the non-vegetarian peoples. And here it includes the poultry, fishery, goat, etc., all those kind of food animals which are reared just to feed on. And here Again, it was found out that the water bodies in India are also having the load of antimicrobial resistant organisms, as well as their genetic strengths genes are also found in the water bodies in India, and they have got infested in these water bodies but through various means. That may be the municipal effluent, that may be the pharmaceutical industries influent, that may be the agricultural surface runoff. Various sources are there because of which these water bodies are getting polluted with the antimicrobial resistant organisms. Basically, what happens, the antibiotics are dissolved in the water and thereafter they come down to the water bodies with that water, and gradually due to this pollution caused by the antibiotics, the antibiotic resistant microorganisms develop in the water bodies. And on an average in India, 7 lakh people lose their life, and this is not the exact figure, but it is just an annual average, and this is going to increase. And here again, it is India is referred as the antimicrobial resistance capital of the world because of the highest number of people those have developed the antimicrobial resistance, the antibiotic resistance in India. And again, highest number of the deaths are also being registered in India due to the antimicrobial resistance and antibiotic resistance. So, causes, what are the causes of antimicrobial resistance that is going on increasing in India? And there are various causes. First of all is that self medication. Most of the people in India are doctors themselves, whether they have studied the medical science or not. Or most of the people do what, they will go to the pharmacist, they will ask them that such kind of symptoms we are experiencing, so suggest some drug and suggest some medicine and just provide it. And the pharmacist is also happy with that because he is going to earn some money after the sale of medicine. So self medication is going to be various types of problems are associated with this self medication system. And that one issue is that the antimicrobial resistance, the antibiotic resistance, that is developing in the Indian population. And here in India, various peoples are like that, they will search on Google also, internet also, so that they can ascertain which kind of drug they should use rather than going to the doctor. Next is the veterinary use. And basically, in the veterinary products, poultry farms, goat rearing, ranches, etc., this is not being used but being abused. Basically, the people who are doing this business, they use too much of the antibiotics on their animals to get a better profit on them, because they will not lose the number of the poultry products or poultry birds or the goats, etc., and later on they will harness a good profit, and because of that they are abusing the antibiotics on them. And because of this, ultimately what happens, when the people eat these veterinary products, then the antibiotics end up in their stomach and ultimately in their body. So this is again a problem. Then the use of biocides in the agricultural field, this is also being abused by the farmers. And due to this, what happens, year on year the need of the amount of the biocides is increasing. So the farmers are not causing the damage to the human health as well as causing the pollution to the water bodies and soil, but they are also losing the money to purchase more and more amount of biocides to spray in their farmlands. So again, it is a big problem. Next is the pharmaceutical wastewaters. Most of the pharmaceuticals, small pharmaceuticals, do not have the treatment plants for their effluents. And later on, what happens? The wastewater is discharged in the nearest water source or to the municipal drainage line, which ultimately goes on to pollute the water sources, and this is again increasing the antibiotic load in the water bodies. Again, the municipal waste is also one of the source of the antibiotics. Basically, the human excreta and all those things contain the antibiotics, as well as the food products wastes which are thrown away, which are already having the antibiotic content in them. And if they are not disposed of well, then again they will end up into some kind of water source or some kind of such sources through which that antibiotic will end up into the human body, as well as the hospital effluents, hospital discards. These are also causing the antibiotic resistance. Next is the aquaculture. Nowadays, the antibiotics are being used in the fishery sector also, aquaculture sector also, and the fish are being reared which are being cultivated through the aquaculture with the use of heavy biocides, and they will again end up into the human body causing the antibiotic resistance or antimicrobial resistance. So what are the initiatives that are being taken by the government of India or various state governments to address this situation? So here what is happening, first one is to improve the awareness, to make the people aware and of antibiotic resistance or the AMR, and not to abuse the medicines or the antibiotic drugs. And here, next initiative is to reduce the infection through effective prevention and control. Here the approach is that right amount of antibiotic provided to the people through appropriate preventive medication and through the control of the uses of the antibiotic drugs. One campaign was launched by government of India, and that was red line campaign. And in this, it was done that the medicines, the antibiotic medicines, were having a red line at the corner of, at one end of the strip, so that the people can clearly identify that these medicines are antibiotic medicines, and this should be taken off only after the prescription of the doctor. When the doctor prescribes these medicines, then only a person should take this medicine which are having a red strip, red line on one edge of that medicine. Next is FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Again, this authority is analyzing the food products, various food products, packaged food products, etc., in the Indian market, and they are certifying these, and they are testing these food products for the content of antibiotic also, whether it is an agricultural food product or containing the quantum of antibiotic present in any kind of food product. Next one was the network for fisheries and animal antimicrobial resistance. This network was launched in India with the help of FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization. This is an international organization with which whose help it was launched in India, and this network is basically to make aware the people who are involved in fisheries sector and animal rearing sector to use the antibiotics in this sector judiciously and in right quantum, so that it doesn't become a devastation for the mankind. Those antibiotics should not end up to the human body in such a quantum that it may cause the antibiotic resistance in the human beings. And next one is the treatment guidelines that were provided by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. So the ICMR had notified one treatment guideline, and in that it was delineated that how to use the antibiotics, what kind of antibiotics should be used in what kind of disease, quantum, etc. Various things were mentioned in that, as well as they had mentioned the treatment line of treatment for antimicrobial resistance also. So most of the doctors are not following these guidelines, mainly they are doing वही चल रहा है. So that is the approach of the doctors, and because of this also the AMR or the antibiotic resistance is going on increasing in India. And here we finish off, and last but not the least, I would like to inform you all that again after the lockdown we have launched this GS Foundation course for 2023 UPSC GS Foundation course that will be starting on 28th of March. And for more details, you can visit our website, or you can also get in touch with us on these numbers. This is our mobile and WhatsApp number. This is our landline number. You can get in touch with us through mail IDs also. And here you can also follow us on our social media handles. This is the handle for Facebook and Instagram. This is our Telegram channel, and this is our website on which you can find various courses as well as the details about the courses which are going to be launched. And do comment us on what kind of improvement is needed, what kind of material you need, and what kind of courses you need. And do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you very much and have a nice day.